Alrighty, here we go. This is a follow-up to the most recent Taz video, my World War II city battle, Japan versus Russia. During that fight, you saw the inspiration for me and the creation of Giga Chad. Give me a second. So basically what happened was, in the video, at the end of one of the rounds where the Japanese won, one of these guys, one of this unit, which is the Japanese elite unit, by the way, if you've been watching the videos, I've explained this, so, but no one watches these anyway, so I'm really talking to no one here. Although maybe one day when I'm big, people will come back and look at these. Who knows? I might have to explain it. But anyway, this pistol is very overpowered, by the way. This pistol right here is not a pistol, it's a machine gun. It's basically a machine. It shoots SMG bullets. It shoots pistol-like bullets, but no, it's a machine gun. It shoots way too many bullets and is stupidly overpowered. And that's before modifying it. And that's exactly what I did for Giga Chad over here. So, I based them off of this unit, who's in my Japanese faction, so he's Japanese. Giga Chad is Japanese, and he's dual-wielding these machine gun pistols, and I modified him to where he has higher speed, higher health, of course, making him a boss unit. And then I modified the guns to where instead of shooting submachine gun bullets, they now shoot sniper rounds, which increases the damage. So, yeah, he's stupidly powerful. And the Allies, the Americans and the Russians, don't like that. No, they are not having it. No, sir, they don't want that. They don't want to have this. They don't want to have Giga Chad running around slaughtering them all across the front. So they amassed a force of 112 troopers, 56 American, 56 Russian, to fight and ambush Giga Chad, who is just chilling in his Greek mansion right here. He owns this. This is Giga Chad stuff right now. Alright. But the Japanese weren't just going to leave their most valuable guy, their most valuable officer, because he is an officer, unguarded. So what we have here is the Japanese gave Giga Chad 24 bodyguards. So this bunch right here is 25 people, 24 bodyguards and Giga Chad himself. Then outside here they have, right? So this is 25 people. Then outside right here you have 55 Japanese soldiers standing outside of his mansion, basically on his front lawn, ready to defend Giga Chad from the incoming Allied army. And the Germans, the Japanese allies, were nice, and they gave him a squad of 10 men. They just loaned out a squad of 10 men who were under the command of this officer right here, this German officer. He led his squad, and they're also going to be helping the Japanese defending Giga Chad. So, best 3 out of 5, we will see if the Japanese and their one squad of German allies are strong enough to protect Giga Chad, or if the allies will be able to defeat this super weapon of a man before he is let loose upon the rest of the front. Here we go. Round 1 beginning right now. This is a huge battle, which is why I use this map. This map is perfect for huge battles. The only other map, well, it's perfect for huge battles because not only is it large, as it's a sandbox map, it's also visually appealing. Really, the best map for like huge battles is the Viking sandbox, but it's all blue. It's just nothing but ice. This one has grass, blooming flowers in the trees, different types of trees, good things to look at in the background. It's just better to look at. Anyway, to the actual fight here. The their special unit is a bazooka. So they have explosives, and a regular guy, a default boy, so like an infantryman, he can take 2 direct hits before dying, and 1 direct hit takes off like 3/4 of his health. So now that I have explained absolutely everything, you can see that Giga Chad, with his speed, is outrunning his entourage, and he is starting to fire. As you can see, these pistols aren't pistols, they're machine guns, and he's ripping through the Americans. His AI automatically goes to the Americans, so unfortunately the Americans will always get the short end of the stick in all those fights. I have playtested it before. I actually made a video where I set up the scenario and I had to balance it because at first Giga Chad's entourage was too powerful. Then I changed it to where the Allied attacking force was too powerful, so I balanced it. Anyway, the German squad is doing alright. The flamethrowers are pushing forward and they seem to be melting a couple of Americans who came out to meet them, some American infantrymen and a heavy gunner. They are getting some help from the Japanese, and again, that's that pistol. That's how the pistol is normally. Alright? Giga Chad is dual-wielding buffed versions of it. Okay, and so the final thing I need to explain is that if you looked at the win conditions for Red Team, which is the Allies, they don't have to defeat everyone, they just have to kill Giga Chad. That's their goal, they're here to kill Giga Chad. Whereas the Japanese and German defenders do have to kill all of these Americans and all of these Russians. Speaking of the Russians are crushing the Japanese who are right in front of them. They have taken losses, a good chunk of losses in fact, but you know, the Russians are doing good, which is good for both allies because obviously since they have to fight Giga Chad, the Americans are not going to, they aren't going to lose. An American bazooka goes forward, that extreme splash damage, doing a lot of damage, killing one person. Molotovs are going out. The German squad, it seems that they have lost everyone except for their marksmen right now. These marksmen are currently on a path to walk right in their own smoke, and since Tabs does have friendly fire, they will take damage from that, but maybe it'll go away in time for them to walk through without taking friendly fire damage. Maybe they'll get distracted shooting at all these guys, and they won't move forward yet. Alright, so you got this one elite American marksman with an M14 semi-automatic. Standing out here, you can see the rest of the battle. Giga Chad deciding to take noticeable damage. This guy is isolated out here. The smoke cloud does clear, so the Germans will be free to walk forward when they do. The German marksmen are they're really just kind of off to the side. They're just like an afterthought. Funnily enough, out of all the units, when I playtested it and the Allies won, those 3 German marksmen were like the last people to die. Oh no, more Americans getting slaughtered by Giga Chad, just getting like instantly killed by him. They don't got a lot of people left. Meanwhile, the Russians are really putting the pressure on what is now probably Giga Chad's bodyguard, because I'm assuming at this point the 55 Japanese men that were out here originally are probably all dead at this point, and this is all probably his bodyguard. Since, you know, they came to the battle later, because they had some distance to walk. So they kind of acting like reinforcements. The Japanese heavy gunners firing out. They are getting some kills. The Japanese are getting some kills, which is important because the less people Giga Chad have to face, the better it would be for Giga Chad. So these guys do need to pull their weight. They can't just rely on their god unit wiping out everyone. Because if you watch the last video, Giga Chad can easily get overwhelmed, especially by units that outrange him. So like the marksmen, the Americans had a lot of units that outrange him, so it's kind of good that he goes after the Americans first, because otherwise he'd probably get overwhelmed by the Americans if the Americans were the one who had a lot of their units left instead of the Russians. Because they just have longer range units. Alright. The last of the Japanese are getting killed by the Russians. There's only 2 American bazooka troopers left. So that's all the Americans got left. The Germans have all the other marksmen at full health right now. So we got the 2 American bazooka troopers and a squad of Russian marksmen trying to get rid of Giga Chad. He's now at like half health, so he becomes enraged. So basically they just gotta wait for his invisibility to wear off. I don't think he'll become enraged again after this though. Hopefully he doesn't, because it's really frustrating when units get multiple rages in one lifetime. Because going into rage makes you invincible. As you can see, he gets hit, Giga Chad is getting shot multiple times, he's taking no damage because he's that much of a chicken. Anyway, yeah, there really is no Japanese forces left. The German marksmen are here with very high health. One of them fell down, but luckily he managed to get up. So we got this last Japanese machine gunner here. He's dying. We got this last Japanese marksman. He ain't long this one either. The 3 German marksmen in Giga Chad. But again, all the Russians, because it's only Russians at this point, all the Russians have to do is kill Giga Chad. His invincibility is officially gone now. He's taking damage. All the Russians have to do is kill Giga Chad. The Germans, these 3 German marksmen, are just distractions. And, I mean, they're also helping. They just killed this elite Russian infantryman. And this Japanese heavy gunner is literally doing nothing but distracting people. Giga Chad, however, is struggling to get close up. And I actually playtested this scenario once, and Giga Chad came away with a victory with just Giga Chad as his attack. Alright, he pushes through that first wave, and he does, unfortunately, become enraged again. The rest of the Russian forces, except for this one highly intelligent guy who's starting to redirect. But most of the Russian forces are going after the German marksmen here. For the last remaining non-Giga Chad units, the Russians here, well, they just lost an infantryman to his marksman. They might lose another one. They might lose their last infantryman. Most of them have masks on, so we got a whole bunch of elite Russian infantrymen, a couple of regular Russian infantrymen, machine gunners, and 1 marksman. Giga Chad is very low health, although he might be fully loaded. Now, if that machine gun blast hit him when he was normal, which he now is, his invisibility is gone. The Germans are trying to distract as many as possible. They're actually doing pretty good. They're actually getting a good chunk of kills here. But with all these, with 2 Russian machine guns pointed at him, I don't know if Giga Chad's gonna make it through. Giga Chad fires off a salvo, he gets a kill. He really needs collaterals, that's what he needs. Awesome. Okay, the 2 machine gunners are now down. It's like really down to the wire here. I'm also kind of invested in these German marksmen because they're like doing so good. Oh no, more units are down. They need to focus Giga Chad. 2 of them are distracted shooting at these marksmen. I mean, they're killing them, which is good, but they don't gotta kill them. Oh, the German marksmen get another kill. I'm telling you, I really think that if these 3 dudes in here, Giga Chad would probably be done. One of the Germans falls. Can Giga Chad preserve some of his allies? He might have a chance to save the one who has high health. This other guy, he's gone. He ain't gonna. Oh snap! They finally turn around to face Giga Chad, but it's too late. It's too late, dude. You missed your chance. You missed your opportunity to get rid of Giga Chad. Look at how little health he has. I feel like that if these 3 marksmen, who unfortunately lost one of their comrades, they lost a squad member. These 3 German marksmen were very important. They killed multiple Russians and distracted multiple Russians, which allowed Giga Chad to persevere. Round 1 goes to Giga Chad and his entourage. Very close though. Round 2, here we go. Once again, the battle is starting. The Japanese army stationed outside of Giga Chad's house on his lawn are taking extreme heavy fire right now from the Americans and Russians. Their front lines, which are all shotgunners, are getting bunched up. They're getting bunched up in focus fires, and they're all dying right now. The American and Russian shotguns do have a little bit more longevity. Boom, that's a rocket. Those are 2 rockets coming in there. That squad of shotgunners is all gone. The Germans are also moving forward, but they have a wall. They just have one squad of American infantry is really focusing on them. The Germans, they kind of bottleneck themselves between this pillar and this rock, this hill, and the base of this hill, which allows this more spread out squad of American infantry to just mess them up until the flamethrowers get close enough. Is Giga Chad out on the battlefield? Giga Chad he is out on the field. Once again, unless they kill, probably end up fighting the Americans and wiping them out first. Some Japanese swordsmen on the line. It's always really cool. This squad of infantrymen is getting killed. The shotgunners in front of them having already been slaughtered. More bazookas coming in, and it looks like the Allies are like really good at just getting rid of all of the extra troops right now. Like, I feel like they're doing better than last time. Giga Chad is now getting into the action right now. He's also starting to take damage, which is important. As soon as they get rid of him, we do have some Japanese special units remaining in. This guy is deep in enemy lines. He might get this kill on this Russian special unit. He missed. His invincibility is still on though. As soon as it wears off, he's instantly dead. The Russian is taking friendly fire damage right now. I mean, so that's a plus. Friendly fire damage from his teammates and himself until Giga Chad saving his Japanese comrade, and he's actually starting to focus on the Russians, which is the first time I've ever seen him do that. He actually killed some Russians there before killing all the Americans. The Americans are losing their fight now, probably because Giga Chad still decimated a good chunk of their numbers. But the Americans are now starting to be left alone as Giga Chad turns towards the Russians right now. And so the Americans are left alone with just the Japanese and the one squad of German troops to fight right now. So we got a smattering of American marksmen, special units, and some bazooka troopers. Kind of like gathering up around this rock. There's only one bazooka trooper though, and he's very close to death. He's like the last bazooka trooper they got, so it's probably very important. Wow, Giga Chad's army is actually just crushing it. So I feel like this time Giga Chad made better use of himself, because what he ended up doing, obviously to Tab's AI, none of this is intentional. It's just luck of the draw. But the way this one ended up going is he weakened the Americans so bad that his normal forces should be able to take him out now. They might not take him out. In a game theory, they should be able to deal with this chunk of the leftover Americans. Then he turned over to weaken the Russians, who are really the big problem, and they probably do the most damage to it. And so now we have this large Japanese force, which is, again, probably his entourage. It's probably mostly his entourage. Although I do feel like some of them might be the original 55 men. And then, so Giga Chad turned and weakened the Russians, who now are unable to deal with his personal bodyguard. So the Russians are getting slaughtered. The Americans do mount a comeback with 4 men left. A bit of a comeback. It's important for Giga Chad, and with all the Russians dead, however, Giga Chad is able to come over and deal with these Americans. Boom. That's it. He survived with a lot more men left. All 3 of the German marksmen survived this time. But more importantly, a good chunk of his bodyguard and probably some of the original 55 guys. Like this guy, he's probably one of the original 55 who were stuck outside of the house area. Survives. A good chunk of it. Again, these are all probably his personal bodyguards, right? Because like, you know, most of them probably came from this chunk. So yeah, Giga Chad did very good that time. He did better, probably because Giga Chad used himself more effectively that time. So it really is up to Giga Chad on whether he succeeds or fails, how useful he is. Because without him, these forces are just they're done. They're not gonna make it. They're gone. They won't move. And so, you know, without that, if it wasn't for Giga Chad, all of these guys would just die. Because Giga Chad is really the only reason why the cost is even. Like, you saw the cost. If you paid attention to the cost, which you'll be able to see it after this match is over, the costs are like a couple $100 apart, which is only one unit. That's only the cost of one unit, give or take. Depending on which you place, of course. Yeah, and Giga Chad is like very expensive. So if it wasn't for Giga Chad, all these guys would just get easily slaughtered. So it really comes down to how Giga Chad uses himself and how effective Giga Chad is in the battle. Alright? Because like right now, look at it right now. Before Giga Chad starts to interact, look at the bird's eye view. The Japanese, who are on the front lines, are getting slaughtered. The Americans and Russians are starting to cave in. And outside of the middle, which is doing stronger, all the Japanese are just dying. But now, Giga Chad and his entourage comes in. Now, even with the bodyguards, these guys wouldn't normally win. They'd still normally get crushed. It really is up to you, Chad. Yeah. I'm always interested in how the one German squad does. And looks like they're persevering against the squad of American infantrymen that faces them immediately, as they usually do. Giga Chad is again focusing solely on the Americans on this one, and leaving the Russians to just steamroll the rest of his force. So this force needs to kill a good chunk of these Russians. Or, you know, just as many as they possibly can. Before they all go down. Oh, that guy got shot in the back. Really fast. This dude is skinny. He's malnourished. He has been eating military rations for 1 month too long. He needs to go home and get himself a full meal. Or hey, maybe Giga Chad will hold a banquet to all the soldiers that survive this. And, you know, Giga Chad will provide for us. Giga Chad's a nice guy. He loves his troops under his command. And his allies. So, you know, Giga Chad. Giga Chad, guys. Rockets coming in. Jeez, if he wasn't enraged, he'd be inside Russian all the way out here. How did you get all the way over here? And, good sir, I believe you've been drinking the contents of that bottle, because that fireball, nowhere useful. Giga Chad really isn't even taking out that much damage right now. And again, it seems like his soldiers are just doing better this time. Maybe they realize they're in a game, and they realize that in this area they're winning 2-0. Or maybe again, Giga Chad just made good use of himself. So it seems like round 1 was the Allies' best scenario. They were not able to defeat Giga Chad. They lost 3-0. 2 of them were just absolutely slaughtered. One of them was really close though. Like look, he did even better this time. Giga Chad learns from his mistakes, and he has become better over each of these 3 rounds. Like, we have men that are probably from the original 55 in this. More Germans, as both of their flamethrowers are alive. You know, like, a lot less people died. You know what I mean? Alright. So boom. That is Giga Chad. Giga Chad. Okay, so since this video is 26 minutes long, I'm gonna do one battle. I'm gonna do one more battle. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to mirror the so since this is just like a good looking formation, I'll probably just get rid of these guys. You know what? No. Alright, so give me a minute. I'm gonna set up. Well, you guys are gonna have to watch me set this up, since I can't splice together multiple recordings, unfortunately. So y'all are forced to watch me do this. So we're gonna have it's only gonna be one battle, guys, since most of the time will probably be spent setting it up. But we can continue this and have a best 2 out of 3 in the next episode. Just so you know, that'll be nice. But yeah, we're just gonna set up a regular fight. The Allies versus the Axis. We'll have all 4 factions on at the same time, which will be epic. It's gonna be epic, guys. And you know, we'll just pitch them together like this. Now, if it's close, if it's a close fight, I'll follow it up. I shouldn't say that I'm gonna automatically follow it up. If it's a close fight, I'll follow it up. If it's not a close fight, I'm not following it up. Alright. That's because what's the point? What would be the point of following up? It's not a close fight. It's a wash. So, alright. Now for the special units. These special units are always like the trickiest things for me. Should I really have 9 of them? Like, I don't want to put 9 of these things. I've really been forced to rethink how many like special units I should have, just because of these bazookas, man. So instead, I'll also have elite units as well. Alright, boom. Special units and the elite units working together. And now what's left? Marksmen? Marksmen are left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Then you got the Russian marksman. Oh, thanks for the cookie. Oh, wait. My apologies. You can probably hear me chewing at this point. Whatever. I'm not gonna. Just deal with it, I guess. and then 2 officers. And then boom, 80 men for each side. So now, all I need to do is go set up the axis the exact same way. The Japanese will be directly facing the Russians, and the Germans will be directly facing the Americans, just like the city battle. We will see which country pulls their weight in this. Alright, now the only thing I don't like about this map is that sometimes the terrain does get in the way of my perfect... I love... One of my favorite parts of this, of these making these factions, is just making these perfectly, like, formations. I love making the formations. Like, I enjoy setting them up and just looking at the formations before I even start the battle. I just love doing that. Hold on, I need to move these guys a bit further back. You know, I wonder how useful the German machine gunners are going to be. Because again, they don't attack. They just protect. So, we'll see how that works. What I have, elite units back here, yep. Like these bushes, oh my god, I don't like these bushes. They're kind of getting in the way of the thing. Boom, and then the Germans get the same treatment. And then their elite units up here. Oh my god, sorry for taking so long. You know, I always, what the, I think I spun that kind of tree. Good thing I caught that. So, I know I keep saying I should add, like, visual, like, a comment saying, like, hey guys, I take a lot of time setting up a battle, you guys should, like, go skip and go here, but I haven't done it, because, you know, I talk. You know, sometimes it's just nice to listen. You know, right now, it's just chill. It's just a chill thing. We're just chilling. And as I place the final officers, right, that is how I place them on the American and British. Okay. So as you can see, the axes cost more, but we'll see if that means that they win. And I will eat my sugar cookie while this battle plays. Alright, here we go. Okay. No. That's me. That's rude. You guys will just hear me chewing and stuff. So after I finish taking this bite, after I finish chewing and swallowing this bite, I'm not gonna eat it until the video's over. My apologies. That's just rude. You hear me munching in the video. Alright. Let me focus on first. So, in the American versus the German side, it looks like the Germans are coming out on top. You see a lot more Americans with lower health bars and dying, but that could change. And on the Russian versus the Japanese, it's the exact opposite. The Russians are crushing it, which is funny because in the city battle, the Japanese dominated the main level. Dang it, I spoiled it. Whatever. I don't even care. That's that long range of American power. Those bazookas coming into play. Gas grenades being tossed out by the elite infantrymen over here. They really need to get those bazookas fast. Get rid of them. 3 bazookas. Insane. Kill them fast. Kill them before they can get a second shot off. The Japanese swordsmen, we'll see how useful they are. Oh, that's a kill from them. So, top of that, that would be better. Seems like the Axis, though, is getting their stuff together and slaughtering and comparing the countries. It does look like the Americans are getting pushed back, but it's really just these two flamethrowers. It's really just the flamethrowers. Once they're gone, I think things are going to go back to normal. And you might see the Americans pull away. And the flamethrowers are dying. They all die in unison, basically, right there. Not before they burn to a crisp this machine gunner, which is important. The Americans also have all three bazookas left alive. That's not good. Things can turn around. Things can start to get ugly. Because, like, even if the bazookas don't kill you, because it takes 2 direct hits to kill you. 1 direct hit is like 75% of your health. Oh, that right there. But 2, like, even if they don't kill you, it's still a lot of your health that is gone, and you're not getting that back. Who is this guy? He's probably just a regular shotgunner. We have the elite German infantry right here. 2 out of the 3 kicking it with one officer. One of the officers. The other officer, the officer that was in the middle, just died. This German machine gunner would be firing at this guy. He's holding his gun really weird. Alright, he gets his act together, kills a guy, and kills an American marksman in the back due to collateral damage. Look at that. And that's all the use he's probably going to get. I feel like the rocket launchers should be reloaded by now. Obviously, the rocket launchers could miss their shots, which would be really good. Oh snap, one of them goes down. I feel like... Okay, so one of the rocket launchers is down. See, now the Americans are starting to move forward. And the Germans are starting to falter a bit. They really only got their marksman left now. Wow, one rocket just completely missed. And the Russians... The Russian, which is the Japanese side, which I like completely ignore, has also turned in favor of the Allies. So it looked like the Axis were like pulling ahead, but it turned around on it. Now let's see if these German and Japanese jeez, just the Germans, I guess, because the Japanese are all gone. Luckily, that rocket launcher killed himself. Yeah, Allies win. Mainly to the Russians. Which is funny. I find that very funny. I find it very hilarious. Like, comparing the two factions that are left, the Americans and the Russians. There are 4 Americans alive. 4 of them. 3 marksmen and 1 elite marksman. Compared to the Russians, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dudes alive. Again, most of them are marksmen. I'm assuming all these guys are marks. They're all probably marksmen. But we do have 1 elite infantryman. This is another marksman. And a heavy gunner who scraped by. So, which is... I find it completely hilarious because it seems like the Russians actually just kind of dominated their field against the Japanese. Well, they didn't dominate, but they did pretty good. Whereas, again, in the city battle, which is more close quarters to Japanese, destroyed the Russians. It was a slaughter for the Russians. No contest. The Germans also won their city battle 3-2, which is very close. And I feel like if it wasn't for the huge amount of Russians that came in, the Germans probably, at least they could have won that fight. So yeah, we'll leave it like this. We'll pick it up tomorrow. Again, this cost don't mean nothing. So, you know, we'll see where this picks up tomorrow. And that's a bit. Alright, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this sugar cookie.